Hello everybody and welcome to episode 2, part 2 of Pokemon Insurgence. Let's go ahead and start the game and pick up from where we left off. So we just escaped from the Darkrai cult. They were planning to kill us. And now we are going to the town hall, which is here. The second augur is visiting this town, and this kid, Damien here, he wants us to help with errands, so that's what we're here to do. Oh, this is Dark. I met him outside. They offered to help too. Why not just say he? I guess because if they had both, they'd have to create two separate scripts for he and she, but I see. Well, Damien, I think we're pretty well finished cleaning up and preparing the town. As long as you have your gift for the augur ready, I think you're done. You do have your gift for the augur, right? Oh, well, I may have forgotten? You better find one and fast. I heard you could find a rare stone in one of the caves in the forest. Of course, you need a Pokemon to safely explore the forest. No, absolutely not. Not a chance. Damien is absolutely not mature enough to get a Pokemon. He's still just a child. Mom, please, everyone else in the town already got their Pokemon and left to go on their adventures. They're not confined to this crummy little town. And that's something you'll never do. You'll get yourself killed. Why do you care? It's not like you're my real mother or anything. I raised you since birth, and I know enough about you to know that you are not capable of raising a plant, let alone a Pokemon. You're irresponsible, antisocial, and you can't even... Alright, you two, settle down. I have an idea. You said your name was Dark? I'm sure you've handled Pokemon before. We'll lend you both and Damien a Pokemon. Would you be willing to help Damien through the forest to the cave to help him find a gift for the augur? Sure, why not? Wonderful, I'm very grateful. So let's settle then. Dark will help Damien to get a gift for the augur, and if Damien shows responsibility, perhaps he can keep the Pokemon afterwards. Well, how does that sound? Fine, on one condition. When he messes this up, he will never press this issue again. I don't want to hear any of this Pokemon nonsense after you show the world how childish you are. Agreed, but I won't be irresponsible. Dark, let's go. Dark, I'll meet you in the professor's lab to get an Eevee. He has a bunch of Eevee from his days as a trainer. The lab is just in the southeast corner of town. I'll see you there. I really hope I don't mess this up. Hey Dark, thanks for agreeing to do this with me. It really means a lot. Alright, we finally got control again. And yeah. So let's go ahead and go to the professor's lab. But I believe we could go... Do we have any money? Yeah, we start off with $3,000, I believe. No, I don't want to have sticky keys. Yeah, we have about... Yeah, we have $3,000. I don't want to go and get any items, though. Any clothes, because clothes mechanic is still sort of buggy. Like on my other file that I have red hair, and whenever you run, it's really glitchy. And you can't even run at all if you buy pants. I don't even know about shirts. I haven't bought one yet. But I bought 2 pair of pants, and it's a waste of $1,000 that you could get Pokeballs or potions with. So yeah, let's go in here, and there'll be another cutscene. Listen, Professor, these Pokemon, they're freaks. No other Pokemon trainer would ever accept them as part of their team, and we can't afford to keep them any longer. All I ask of you is to keep them. Let me move this out of the way. You've already kept thousands of Eevee as is. Surely these 3 Pokemon won't be a bother to you. Why do you care about their lives? I know who you are. I know what you've done. It's true, I'm merciless. I've done horrible things. But there's a difference between mercilessness and needless death. Hello? I'm Damien, and this is Dark. We're here to get a Pokemon so we can go into the forest. Sylvan, if you don't take these Pokemon, I'll release them and they're sure to die in the wild. I would rather avoid needless death. If it comes down to it, you could just give them to these kids, right? Put them on the table. Very well. Excuse me, please. So you two are in need of a Pokemon? Yes, sir. I see. That man was in here. That man that was in here just now, he was one of my colleagues in university. He's a smart man and a great scientist. He's also the leader of one of the cults and is responsible for deaths of thousands of people. A cult leader? Those people are evil, Professor. You shouldn't be talking to them, let alone be accepting gifts from them. Tell me, Damien Dark, have you ever heard of a Delta Pokemon? Yeah, they're in the TCG. Have a few cards. Well, I haven't. Then allow me to explain. Delta Pokemon were based on an idea scientists had about Pokemon a while ago. They're Pokemon that have different DNA than normal Pokemon. They're Pokemon that have a good example would be an electric type Dragonite or a water type Porygon. These Pokemon that were given to me, these are Delta Pokemon. I'm not sure what type they are, but they seem to be genetic experiments of Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. They're scientific marvels. Letting a Delta species Pokemon die would be terrible to me. Now, normally I would give you an Eevee as a Pokemon to start off on your journey. However, it seems there are 3 more options for you to choose from. These Delta Pokemon that the cult leader gave me, well, nobody wants a freak fur Pokemon. I can't imagine that most trainers would want to be friends with a Delta Pokemon. A Pokemon that will never know friendship is a sad, sad thing indeed. So I will offer you this. You may choose one of these 3 Delta Pokemon to be your companion. I only want to keep one to study. If you're not interested in using one of these Pokemon, you can have the Eevee I normally reserve for trainers. So you have 4 options, one of the 3 Deltas or Eevee. If you want Eevee, simply talk to me, otherwise choose your Pokeball. Dark, I don't know what to do. I don't like the idea of a mutant Pokemon made by a murderer, but I don't like the idea of these Pokemon left all alone forever. You can pick, but hurry up. We don't know when the augur is arriving. I'm gonna go for Charmander. I also have Charmander on my other file, but I just really like the Delta Charmander. I don't think anybody's gonna choose the Eevees, to tell you the truth, but yeah, I'm gonna give them it's a female. How about Ren from Blue Exorcist, however you pronounce it. And yeah, it's a pretty, I really like that show. I just finished it the other day, and I don't know how long it's been out. I watched it on Netflix and it had nothing but Japanese, it was in Japanese and had nothing but English and Spanish subtitles, so. Well, it's not the fault of the Pokemon, is it? So I've decided to choose a Delta Pokemon like you. Hey, Dark, before we go out into Shade Forest, how about a battle? It'll be the perfect time to test out our new Pokemon. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here. Alright, I'm back. So let's continue on. Let's go. Now the Delta Pokemon, they originated from the TCG, the trading card game. And what they are is, well, like you probably figured out by now, is they're Pokemon with different types. You know, like, one of the cards that I have is a fighting type Chikorita, which usually Chikorita would be a grass type. But yeah. And the story behind it is Pokemon from this region called Holon, Holon. Scientists were working on something and it messed up and turned all the Pokemon into different types. So yeah. Wow, you're a great battler. Do you think maybe you could take on a gym someday? Alright, Dark, here's the deal. I'm going to head north into Shade Forest. At the northern end of the forest is a really large cave, and in the middle of that cave is a rare stone we're looking for. Head into the forest and into the cave. I'll meet you there. Dark, can I talk to you for a moment? that man that was in here today was the leader of Perfection, one of the 5 cults of the Tauren region. Because he was so willing to spare the lives of a Pokemon, you might think he's not such a bad person. But you have to understand the cults do not value human life. They are responsible for the deaths of thousands. Overestimating their kindness is a mistake that could lead you to your death. Just sending you a fair warning. Beware the cults, they are not something to underestimate. Now that being said, I have a gift for you. And we got the Pokédex. This is a Pokédex, short for Pokemon Index. It is a data collection of all the Pokemon that I give to trainers. If you see a Pokemon, it will be registered in the Pokédex. If you catch one, the Pokédex will be full of data regarding that Pokemon. Anyways, now that you've gotten that, you should be all set to go on your adventure. Head up north to Talnor Cave, deep in the forest, and remember my warning. Alright. Yeah, so they only appeared in like maybe 2 sets of the Delta Pokemon, and 2 sets in the trading card game, so I'm sure we're not gonna get that back anytime soon. I really like the idea. I wish they would bring it back, but I really honestly don't see that happening. I've tried to hack. I got a Pokegear. I've tried to hack Holon, like make a game about Holon, but it's I don't know. I never really picked it up. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm glad that they put this in here. I don't like the fact that they made them starter Pokemon, but hey, whatever, at least I got one. I know they have a few more Delta-type Pokemon in this game, but I have no idea how to get them. I know back in Omicron and Zeta, they had like this temple for the that had all the Delta Pokemon in it. So I'm actually really curious if they have something like that in this game. I never played Zeta or Omicron, but I have watched Munching Orange play it. So I'm pretty sure that there's something similar to that in this game. This is actually the first playthrough that I've ever done, so yeah. I was thinking about doing a hack, like a playthrough of a hack, like maybe a short one like Toxic Purple. That's not too bad. Or something like that. Yeah, but if you have any ideas, just leave it in the comments. It helps a lot, you know. So, it'd be great to know. Go ahead and use Twister on this little Machop here. But yeah, Blue Exocryst, it was kind of weird because after watching the Japanese version, I watched the English dub version of it, and I was actually surprised to find out that his name was pronounced Ren, because there's another show called Shuffle that it spelt the main character on there, his name is spelt the exact same way, R-I-N, but it's pronounced Reen. So I automatically assumed that you spelled this guy's name, or you pronounced this guy's name like you did on the guy off of Shuffles. But nope. I guess they have different ways of pronouncing names too. Either that or the person who was in control of all the English dubs didn't know how to pronounce his name. But yeah, it's a pretty good show. Didn't mean to do that. If you haven't seen it, you need to. And I'm going to stop it here and pick it back up next time. I got a message on Facebook. Alright. Like, comment, subscribe. If you like this series and want to support it, please do those 3 things so I know to keep it going. And hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.